Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In this video today, we are going to be talking about the 4-2-2. If I had to say a favourite formation, custom tactic that I've used this year, it would be the 4-2-2. We'll get to talking about that when we look at the formation screen, but it's a formation that I've tried and tested a lot. It's probably the formation I've played the most games with, and it's a formation that a lot of people have been requesting that I do an updated video for. It's not going to be some crazy drastic change to this formation. Simply put, once you get used to a formation, unless there's some patch that drastically nerfs a playstyle or drastically changes something, you don't really need to change a lot, and nothing really has happened like that. So for me, it's just going to be slight tweaks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the formation tactic today. I'm going to play with it this weekend league. Now we've got better new rewards, and then I'm going to do a video Monday or Tuesday where I show gameplay with the tactic and go a bit more in depth with it then. So this is the team that I'm running with it. I think it's a good team, but I don't think it's even that much of a god squad at this point of the game. So as anyone who has watched a lot of my videos will know, I tend to run a defensive and an attacking formation. So this formation here, the 4-4-2, I'm not playing that. That is literally just to get my players on chemistry. I get asked quite a bit, why are you showing 4-4-2 your team? That is just the balance. I don't play that, I just switch in game. The one that I will spend more time on in game is the defensive one. It isn't defensive, it's just under the defensive game plan. Balanced playstyle. Now, balanced playstyle is literally balanced, is a good mix. It's a good mix between being able to press, push up, be a bit more aggressive when you want to, but you have to do that a bit more manually, and then also not being too aggressive. Keep having to switch my hair about, it annoys me. But it's a good mix of that, and then you can also keep your shape, keep structured, keep in position, and be hard to break down. When it comes to the actual build-up, no, we'll go width and depth. The width and depth I've got like 45. I think if you go much higher, you end up leaving too many gaps through the middle for the through balls. I think on this game, through balls down the middle are really strong, which you don't want to be giving people a lot of space for. But you don't want to be too compact and narrow, because simply put, when you are, through balls down wide are good. So you want to be in somewhere in the middle. For the depth, I don't think you want to be too low. Shots on the edge of the box are pretty good, especially now that most people have really good players. So you don't want to be making those too easy for people. But you also don't want to go too high, because when you go too high, you end up leaving space and behind for through ball. So it's kind of like chess match, working it out what works for you. Build-up play, balanced and direct passing for probably the last 3 FIFAs has been the best combination in my humble opinion. I think that direct passing, simply put, just pins them back a bit, which is really good, something you want to do. It allows you to drill it into your strikers, take one good touch, and then you're in on goal. Players in box, I don't go too high on that. I think if you go too high, you end up being counter-attacked a bit too easy. If you go too low, not enough options. When we actually look at the formation, though, we'll talk a bit now about what makes the formation so good. And when you look at it, there's not really much of a gap anywhere. The closest thing this formation has to a weakness is that it doesn't have a cam. No cam is the only weakness, if I had to pick something here, which does affect the link-up play a bit. But you'll see when we get to the instructions, I have one of the CDMs on balanced attack. That CDM being on balanced attack fills that gap a little bit. But 2 strikers. Any formation that has 2 strikers is instantly going to allow the link-up play to be a bit easier. 2 basically wingers in the Lam and Rab. They're going to help a lot. The Lam and Rab are going to make a big difference in terms of getting width. You need width on FIFA, really. If you don't have width, you're going to really struggle to break people down. I find when I coach people, one of the big mistakes a lot of people make is that they don't get enough width. They play too centrally and it's too predictable. 2 CDMs. 2 CDMs are going to make a big difference too, because when you have 2 CDMs, that protects the defence well. And then you've got a flat back 4. We'll talk about what you want from each player when we look at the instructions now. So for the strikers, I've got stay forward. That is all I've done. I do sometimes go stay central, but I find the interchanging that you get with balance width works quite nice. For the strikers, it's quite simple. You need at least 4-star weak-footed skills. You want high pace. We want ideally 90 plus pace, so when we put a hunter on, it gets them to 99. High shooting, obviously. Being good on the ball is pretty useful. Decent passing's nice, but not essential, and then good physical helps too. For the wingers, they need to be 99 pace with a chem star. The best left winger in the game, in my opinion, is Alawari, because he's just so fast. I'm going to come back on defence, get into the box for these. Weak foot's not as essential for these guys, but it's still beneficial. I think for the CDMs, I don't change much in sense of anything too drastic, but we go cut passing lanes. I think cut passing lanes is definitely the best defensive behaviour. We have one bit more defensive on stay back. That simply put allows us to be a little bit more structured so we don't get counter-attacked too easy. One's unbalanced. That's going to be the one who's better at attacking. Allows him to go forward and give us more options. Cover centre on both because I don't want them getting dragged out wide. And then stay back while attacking on all of our defenders. Comes for crosses, sweep a keeper on the keeper. Now, if you're losing a game and you're struggling to get back into it, you can't just stay unbalanced, especially if you're playing someone who keeps the ball. If you're playing someone who keeps the ball a lot, you need to have a game plan to switch up to. So for me, that's press after possession loss. Some formations aren't always as good at pressing, but this one is pretty good. Press after possession loss, I up the depth to 80. Depth basically affects how high up the pitch your team will press. So you don't want low depth and press after possession loss because your team won't be effective then. But if you have high depth and then you have press after possession loss, your team are going to start pushing up and pressing a lot higher. We don't really change too much elsewhere. Simply put, this is a drastic change in itself, going higher depth and press after possession loss. For the instructions, I don't think I change anything either really there. The formation doesn't really need much switching up. It's still very good in this more high press style, but you'll notice it's just a lot more aggressive, a lot more in the opponent's face. I'll show you the ultra attacking I switched to. It's a formation I love and I do sometimes play. I think it's my second favourite formation this year, the 4-3-3-5. I think it can be used as a default tactic. I just think it's a little bit attacking and open at times, which can leave you vulnerable. We should put Bellingham as the more attacking one there. But in terms of as an all-round press all-out tactic, it's really good because it presses the fullbacks with the wingers, the midfielders get forward and cause issues, and then on the attack, this formation's cracked. It just has so many options. I'm not going to go in depth going over the tactics, but you can see there, obvious, constant pressure, 100 depth. We're trying to get the ball back late on. We're desperate for possession. Stay forward, cut inside, get in behind, get into the box on the wingers. Stay central, stay forward on the centre forward. Get forward, get into the box on both of the outside centre mids. Cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking cover centre on the CDM. Step up on all of the defenders. Join the attack, overlap on the two fullbacks. It is a crazy, in-your-face, high-depth, all-out attack tactic. But don't use this for a lot of the game. Only use it when you're really trying to get a goal back and trying to get back into the game. A lot of people do this too early, ruin their stamina, especially in champs where you can go to extra time and end up losing games that they really shouldn't be. Let me know what you guys think of this set of tactics. It's my favourite that I've used all year, the 4-2-2. Going to be playing it more this weekend. Appreciate you guys' support as always. Keep it spicy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.